Mabuhay! Welcome to the Triple O Podcast, our own opinion. Ang podcast na ito ay para sa mga Pinoy all around the world na may sariling opinion. I'm your host, Rick, and later we're going to be talking about life of single mom in Canada. So first, I would like to welcome my guest, Laura. Laura, please introduce yourself to our listeners.
Hello. My name is Laura. I'm 32 years old, living in Vancouver, Canada, and I'm a single mom.
All right, great. Okay, so let's dive into our topic. Okay, seems like we're gonna be having a lot of discussion. All right, so Laura, you're a single mom, and how many kids do you have?
I have three kids.
And how old are they?
Um, so my oldest son, he's 12 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and then my second child is 10 years old, and my baby is 9 years old.
Still call him a baby. Yeah, even though when they're old, still they're babies, right? I know, I
Exactly.
know. I have two kids myself, so that's why. All right. Um, for yourself, what do you do to support your family?
I work. I have two jobs. I work at a dance studio and I do bookkeeping in the morning. Before the pandemic, I used to be a wedding planner and I had my own business, everything. But with the pandemic, like I can't keep going. So
Yeah, no weddings.
no partying, no wedding, no nothing. So that's put on pause right now.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? That's a good thing though. Like, I remember someone before. She's also Filipina who helped with our wedding. She was a wedding planner. She was great.
No,
Yeah.
there's so many Filipinos that do it
Yeah,
actually.
I
Like,
know. I didn't know that it was a thing for us.
and
So,
it's perfect because we hold so much parties, right? Like
yeah. Tell me
party
about it. Hey,
people.
you know what? That's a good thing. Maybe I should interview again for that one next time. Oh, I got
Right?
another person. That's great. All right, so let's talk about your childhood. How was your childhood like? Especially growing up here in Vancouver. How old were you when you came to Canada?
I came here when I was 7 years old.
And you were from
In the Philippines, Cavite City.
Cavite. All right, mga Caviteño, here you go. Kabayan, represent. So, how was your childhood like?
um, my childhood, well, here in Canada, my childhood was great. Um, I lived with my grandparents and my mom, my uncle. We had a house. We lived together. But of course, back in the Philippines, like we lived as a family there too with my mom's siblings. But we were quite poor back home. So like from the time that I was, I guess, born until now, sorry, from 7 years old,
Mm-hmm.
like life was tough, but
Yeah.
definitely like my mom pushed through. She's also a single mom. And then
Oh,
coming here, like, she's definitely like set a good example for me,
example
like
for
of
you.
a good mom and all that. So yeah.
Your mom is tough. Single mom life.
I know my mom's like a warrior. Like I don't know. I try to like be on par with her, but sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can
Yeah.
do it. So
We never know until we do it, right?
right.
Wait, by the way, I never asked. You have any siblings?
No, I'm an only child.
Oh, okay. So what happened to your dad?
So my dad left the Philippines. Things happened between him and my mom. They try to not kind of get me involved in that, so they don't really tell me stuff back in the day, which is totally fine. It's what happened between them. But my dad left apparently when I was like one, almost 2 years old, to
Wow.
go live into the UK. And then for some reason they split. Like my dad found someone there,
Yeah.
and my mom stayed single. My dad remarried, and basically, yeah, I my mom stayed single, and we got divorced before my seventh birthday.
Oh, they got divorced in the Philippines.
Yes, actually, there's no divorce in the Philippines, right?
Annulment, annulment,
Yeah, an
annulment.
annulment. So
Yeah.
they actually filed a divorce in the UK,
Uh
and
huh.
then that's how they got the divorce kind of like
Per.
valid.
Yeah, I see. Oh my goodness. Okay. Um, question. Did you ever see your dad when you were young?
No. I've seen
Oh,
him in pictures. I've seen him like I see him in FaceTime and stuff right now. Actually, before the pandemic, my
mm-hmm.
dad and I were supposed to see each other for the first time. So
Yeah,
like we bought our plane tickets, everything. We were so excited. We booked everything. He asked me like, "Where do you want to go?" And my dad's from the UK, right?
yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
like, "Dad, I want to go to France. I want to go here." So he like booked all these places, our tickets, everything. But then with the pandemic, everything got shut down and I didn't get to see my dad. So we're planning actually next year to have a reunion and see each other. So
That's good. Sounds good. But then I guess it was hard for you not having a dad growing up, right?
it was definitely tough because my mom's siblings kind of stepped up. But
Mm.
the most constant person that was like there for me was my grandpa. Like my
Oh.
grandpa was definitely like my dad and my
Mm-hmm.
grandma was my mom.
Oh yeah.
Like my mom is my mom, but my
Yes. Yes.
grandparents raised me, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, like my grandpa's definitely like my number one dad. Like, ooh, grandpa.
Yeah, I know, right? They always step up.
Yes, yes,
Excuse me.
because my mom like worked a lot, like she worked full time. So like my grandparents raised me, like taught me everything. Very, very strict, but I'm thankful for them.
Mm. Okay. You know what? Support, always love our grandparents, right?
Oh,
They're always
yes.
there, even though they're far from us.
Oh,
I,
yeah.
yeah, I know. All right. So, when did you first got into a relationship?
Ooh,
Mm,
gosh.
so
I
far?
first Right? I think there was like flings here and there. Like my mom met like suitors and stuff, like, but not really boyfriend. But I think my first boyfriend was probably in grade 11, 12. Like my first
Oh,
serious boyfriend. Like I'm
boyfriend.
not gonna enclose his name. If he watches this, he's probably like, that's me." Like, because we're still good friends. Like we don't talk a lot, but like
Yes. You guys are
we're
friends.
friends. Yeah, yeah,
That's good.
definitely.
I like that. Like even though you guys ended your relationship, you guys have a good relationship as friends. Basically,
I
as.
I think from my phone was talking to. I'm sorry, my watch was talking to you. um,
Was it Siri? Hey
yeah, it
Siri,
was serious.
how are you, Siri? I ain't talking to you right now. Can you please be quiet?
Oh my god. No, but I was saying,
Mm,
my I believe that if in a relationship, it's very different from when you're friends. Like it's a very, very different relationship.
mm-hmm,
And if you learn to forgive, but you never forget,
mm-hmm.
right? And like I've learned that in my past relationships that you can you can be friends with them, you can be civil. You don't have to
Yes.
trust them or you don't have to be close to them, but it's always easier for yourself to kind of not have a bad blood with them, you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
this could be us, but you hating like
You did something.
exactly.
All right. Well, you know what though? I agree with that. At least be civil, and it's true that you can forgive. You can learn how to forgive, but it's hard to forget.
That's
And
right.
most people, we don't forget. Anyways, it's gonna be there. That's why we have scars.
That's right.
You people may not see it, but they're there.
Battle scars.
Battle scars. Yeah, makes us tougher, right? That's how life is. All
Right.
right. And so, how many? Okay, I'm not gonna ask how many relationship you got into, but let's go with no your kid's father. How did you guys meet?
We met through a friend. Actually, I think she was dating him.
Oh.
Yes, I think she was dating him, but we ended up like kicking it off. Like I used to call him Kuya and everything. I'm like, "Hey, bro." Like it used to be that kind of relationship, but
Yeah.
like I heard that there was so many times that we were supposed to like go on a date, but it never like pushed through. Like
Uh,
one time like like my friends are like, "Oh, let's go to the beach. Let's go to fireworks. Let's go bring our boyfriends." And I'm just like, "Well, I don't have one." And I
Mm-hmm.
would like call him. I'd be like, "Hey, do you want to come with me? Like, I really don't want to like fifth wheel. Like, this is not my thing." And
Yeah,
like he'd
yeah.
be like, "Cool, cool," but then it like just never pushed through. And
Uh,
then until finally I remember I met him for the first time was when the day after I got my wisdom teeth pulled out. It's the most awkwardest time, and like that was the first time like I actually like got to hang out with him, and I had like ice pack like on my face, and I'm just like, are you blah blah blah? And he's just like, oh my god, I feel so bad for you.
I think you were the cutest then. He got into like, I like that. No teeth. Got into a relationship with that. We got a relationship with that. All
Right.
right. So and then you know how did you guys actually got together now? Like being together.
How we got together. Um, oh man, like so many fights. So many fights. I don't think there was ever an initiative of like, do you want to be my boyfriend? Do you want to be my
Oh, really?
girlfriend? Like, I don't think there was anything like that. I think we just kind of knew that we were like together.
So okay, let me try. Let
So,
me ask this one. This part. You know how Filipinos are like harana. You know the courting
mhm.
stage. Did he ever do that?
Oh, all the time. He loved to sing.
Oh,
He loved to sing. He loved to dance. He's like Filipino usher. Like, it's so funny.
wow.
Yeah, so he would like sing to me. Like, I remember we would fight, and you remember MSN Messenger, where you could like
Yes.
have a status there, and like as a sorry, he would put like the whole lyrics of the song, and I
Yeah, yeah,
and I
yeah.
would just ignore it, but I'd be like, oh, that's so cute. Like, it's super cheesy back then, but it
Yeah.
was my kids are gonna have a good laugh about this because they don't know about this story.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I like that. MSN Messenger. We're not that
Yeah.
old people.
No, we're not old. We're still young.
We're still young. We're into what's the new one? TikTok.
TikTok, yeah, TikTok's the
Yeah.
best. I'm like addicted. Could stay on there for like 5 hours.
Right, right, right. So, did you ever marry him?
Yes,
Oh, you guys got
we
married.
had two weddings.
Whoa, bling
Yes.
bling.
No,
What?
no, no. That's not even it.
Tell me about the
Well, the
wedding
fir-
parts.
well, the first one we eloped.
Oh,
We
sexy.
eloped. We eloped. Like we were just like, let's get married. Took 2 days, and we just found an efficient, called our friends, and we just got married. Like that's what we did. And like my family knew, his family didn't know, only his brother
Oh.
knew. So his brother was at the wedding. So like I think their parents thought that they were like out golfing or something, but really they didn't know their son was getting married. Tita, I'm so sorry if you're watching this.
And I guess too late now, but still, hey, tita, sorry.
I'm really sorry about that.
Oh my god, that's funny. All right, and then what's the second one?
The second one was the birth of our second child. So we didn't have a church wedding. We
Mm,
like the first wedding wasn't a church wedding, and that time both our parents are like, you guys need to get married at a church. Like your marriage needs to be like valid. As a Filipino,
yeah.
like being in a Filipino family, both families are very conservative. So his family is like very conservative, and so is mine. They basically like, you didn't get married like at this place, like you should get
Yeah.
married like at a church.
At a
So
church.
we kind of put it together with my middle child's like baptism. Like, we're Filipinos, it's like
Yeah.
two in one stone, and just like get it over and done with. So
I see. So when it's a firstborn?
the firstborn,
No,
or
when the
the
firstborn
sec
was being baptized.
no, the second one,
The second one.
yeah,
Oh,
the
I
second one.
see. And
Yeah.
then get married at the same time.
Yeah, there's more to like the
Efficient.
backstory with that, because like we got married because actually we weren't like boyfriend and girlfriend. So what happened was when I got pregnant, he got scared. We weren't married yet. We were just girlfriend and boyfriend. and he got scared and he took off. Like he got so scared, so he took off. So I was pregnant like for God knows, like I thought it was forever, but it was like 9 months. Um, and then like
I like that. I was like, I don't know. It was probably more than 9 months that I was married. The kid
right,
never wanted to come out. All
yeah,
right.
I was he didn't want to come out. Like he was just in my tummy, and my when I went to labor, I was into labor at Burnaby General
Hospital.
Hospital.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, my mom was trying to call him, and I believe he was in the US that time. Like he was doing something about golf and stuff, for schooling and everything. I didn't even know about this until like after, and
Yeah.
like he turned the phone off on my mom, and like my mom was like, "Where is he? He should be here." Blah blah blah, and then we had the birth of our um, first child. So he
Mm-hmm.
didn't get to see the birth of our first child, but um, there was something that happened that I had to meet up with his brother,
Mm-hmm.
and I basically didn't tell him like, hey, like I have to tell you something. It was more like, hey, I need to grab something for you from you. Like, can I get it?
Mm-hmm.
And then so we met up, and then so I got what I needed from him, and basically I showed him a picture. I'm like, hey, does this baby look familiar to you? And he's
Yeah.
like, no. And I'm just like, oh, it's your nephew. And then he was like, what? Like what? And I'm like, yeah, like your brother and I had a baby. And he was just like, oh my god, like I can't do this. So according to my ex-husband, the way he told me the story was when his brother got home,
Yeah.
he was like, Kuya, I'm gonna tell mom, blah blah blah. And he's like, no no no, like I'm gonna tell them, like I know about it, da 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 da. And just the drama unfolds,
Yeah.
and he was like, if you don't tell mom, I will.
Yeah.
Because like my oldest son looks exactly like him when he was a baby, so there was like no doubt in his mind that like my son was his
His.
nephew.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was like no doubt, like they're like copied of each other's face. Like if you put like his baby picture and my son's baby picture together, it's
Mm-hmm.
like basically the two peas in a
Carbon
pod.
copy.
Yep,
That's your
exactly.
DNA right there. I can tell.
No lie.
No lies. We don't even need a DNA test for this.
Nope. Nope.
Just side by side. Look at you. It's your kid.
Right. Right. So, yeah, like that's how like it kind of unfolded, like for
Mm-hmm.
our love story. Like,
So then, how did he commit to you then after?
so that's where it got a little bit complicated because his his parents, like like the Filipino, it's not called. It's I don't think it was like um when you court the family mapapanhikan or something. I
Yeah.
don't know what it's.
Mamanhikan.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
um they bought food at our house, and like like all these like awesome like Filipino spaghetti, like pancit and
Oh,
puto, like they were like bought everything, like it was gonna be like a big ass party, but it was like his death sentence. That was the party. That was that was the party. That was his death sentence. So like
yeah.
my
It's like we're giving up our son, and this is the pate. I like that. And we're gonna take a pate for the pate.
right,
Mm-hmm.
um and then he finally saw our son for the first time,
Mm.
and he like bawled his eyes out. So of course, like he wasn't there, he bawled his eyes out, just like he's just like, oh my god, like our son's beautiful, blah blah blah. So I think in time he told me like, let's work things out and do things, and he started coming to our house um very more often. Like he was
Mm.
coming to our house often, and I don't know what was going on, but I don't know who was in his house, but he took me to his house to grab something because we were
Yeah.
we were just hanging out. We were like on a date or something. And
On a
his
date.
family, yeah, his family, one of his family members came home. I don't know exactly who it was.
Yeah.
Um and he like pushed me in the closet. Like apparently I wasn't supposed to be there. And I was just like, what's going on? And then I heard them say like, are you sure it's yours? Like, like it's
Uh,
the questions of like, are you sure it's yours? Like, I don't think it's a good idea for you to work things out with her. Like, I don't know if like we don't know their family, like this, like that, like you know do you like it's good that you're there for your son, like it was all in Tagalog and it was all a blur. Like,
mm-hmm.
mind you, this was like 10 years, like sorry, 12 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just all blurry to me. um and yeah, like it just unfolded like that. But like the more
Uh,
you tell someone no, you can't do that, the more
the more they want to.
they want to do it.
Mm.
So like it got to the point that he's like, I don't even want to be here anymore and blah blah blah, like this is like really like not good. And then like he started coming to our house more. But my grandpa, he's like my dad, right? Like
Yes.
he was like, well, he can't be staying here, what are the neighbors gonna say, as if we were living in the Philippines, right? So he's like, if he wants to stay here, he's got to get married, like you guys got to get married and this and
Yeah.
that. And then so we put it out on the table, like we were going to give time for us to get married. But like the issue with his family kind of escalated. like
Mm.
it just escalated from there. Like my mom and his mom got into something. And
Mm.
they just didn't want to,
Excuse me.
what do you call this, they just didn't want us to be together. And I
Uh,
think at that time we weren't really thinking, like we were like, we should be a family, we should be here for Lawrence. Like we were thinking about like our son during
yes.
that time,
Mm-hmm.
that we were like, okay, like I think this happened on a Friday. We're like, okay, on Sunday we're getting married.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, and we just like called our close friends. My mom was there. Like only my mom knew, like from my family. And yeah, like his family didn't know except for his brother.
Yeah.
And we eloped.
I see.
So that's how we got married the first time.
The first time. All right. And then the second time, the second kid was already out, and
And the family is like, you guys should get married because you only
in
got
the
married
church.
with like civilly, so you guys should be, you guys should have a church wedding, like a traditional Filipino church wedding. And, since Jaden's gonna get baptized, like you should, get your marriage kind of blessed, da da
Mm-hmm.
da. And then so we're like, okay, like let's do this. Like,
Yes.
so we planned a wedding within a month and a half. Like, here we go again. Like, it was just quick, quick.
Bam. I like your life is like, hey, let's do this. Bam. Hey, let's do that. Bam. You know what? This is a good idea. Bam, bam. I like that. All right.
That's basically my life. No
Hey,
thinking, the
no,
regrets are
yeah.
in the end.
I like that. You're a risk taker. You have a lot ahead of you. So, all of that. Excuse me. I keep coughing, guys. I'm so sorry for our listeners. And to cut in between, if you like this topic and you find this interesting, don't forget to leave us a review. Excuse me, my goodness, it's this thing again. This is what happened. I
M.
told you. I wish I had holes. Join our conversation on our Twitter and Facebook account. Okay, guys? All right. Again, sorry for my throat. Keep coughing. All right. So, how did it end for you guys? Like, why? Why did it end, and how did it end, and what's the situation right now?
So after having a third child, it wasn't the first time. Like my, sorry, ex-husband, if you're watching this, I don't mean to be talking bad about you. We're good now, but
So, well,
um,
you know what? It happened. Everybody knew. I think everybody should be okay with it by now. I mean,
yeah,
everybody had a. You know what? It's not. Whenever there is an issue, it's not just one person's fault. It's two persons' fault because you guys dance together, and it's a salsa. One
yes,
step wrong, everything is wrong, right?
everything is wrong. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
So yeah,
Um,
go ahead.
you know the Filipino term of like nanlipat ng bahay.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. And then,
Um, so I found out that he was cheating on me. It wasn't the first time,
mhm,
but there were occasions that I found him talking to other girls, messaging
yes.
other girls.
Mhm,
Um, I have no evidence that he was meeting up with these people that he was talking to,
yes.
but definitely what set me off was that um, he was cheating on me with a friend.
Mm,
Yes, a very very close friend,
I see.
and yeah, like that was the last straw for me.
Yeah. Sad. You know what? I find though, Filipinos like tend to do that a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is why I told my mom, I'm like I'm not racist, but I think I'm gonna date other races. And she was like, no, but guys are always tempted. And I'm like, no, it's true, but I gotta taste all the colors of the rainbow. I'm sorry,
Oh my
mom.
god, I like that one. Oh, I like that one so much.
Sorry, mom.
Taste the rainbow. Ah, so funny. You're making me cry. I gotta compose myself.
I told you this is not gonna be like a I'm like, oh, I'm not an emotional person.
Oh man, that's good. That's good. Ah, taste the
Sorry, mom.
rainbow.
I'm so sorry. Please forgive me
Okay.
for saying that. I'll cook dinner and I'll clean the house. I promise.
But did you guys actually you said kanina you guys already got divorced, right?
We just got divorced last year.
You
We
just got
finalized
divorced.
our divorce last year. We were
Who
separated for 9 years.
what?
Yes, we were married for 5 to 6 in between there.
Mm-hmm.
Separated for 9 years. And then finally, last year, we got our divorce like settled.
Who filed for that one?
I did.
You did. So you didn't that means you're the one who has to pay for everything.
Yes.
That's how it works, right? As far as I know.
Yeah, but I kind of like poked at him and be like, yo, give me money.
That's right. You know what? It's it's a salsa.
Right?
We do it together. Split the. You know what? It's good though. Like he did split it with you.
He sort of
You know
sort
what?
of split, but you know what, sometimes like the government, like if you go through like classes, this is what I tell my friends, like when they tell me like, oh, I'm going through a divorce, I don't know what to do. There are classes out there that you can take and they're free, but
Mm-hmm.
if you take those classes they give you a voucher,
Oh.
because it's like a divorce class, not like this is how you do with divorce, but it's more of like what to do with the kids um,
Oh.
during the separation and the divorce. Like it's like a course that basically helps you not be resentful, not taking the bitterness out of your kids. Like I'm really glad that I took that. I took that
Mm-hmm.
class, and he took the class either, like as well, and we we figured out like how everything was gonna be from then on. So
Wow, I
yeah.
didn't know there are classes for that one.
And they'll give you
So
like credits, and they'll like basically when you present your divorce, they'll be like, "Oh, you went to this class? Okay, we'll take this much money off." And of course, Filipinos like
wow.
discount. Like
Yeah. $10 off. I'll take it. Yeah. Why not? It's a Filipino
we want
thing.
our discounts, of course we do.
Oh, of course. It's pretty good. All right. You know what? I didn't know that. And I think, for our listeners, hey, now you know. I mean, don't get divorced, but just to
Don't
get that
encourage.
discount.
We don't encourage.
So, yeah,
But
go
if
get a
you are in
discount.
a binding situation, then it is an option.
All right. So, uh, but you guys are good now, right?
Um, we have our days.
Hmm.
We have our days, and we have our good days. There are like, just because you're divorced, it doesn't mean the fights are gonna end. Just
Mm-hmm.
so like there are some people that are very civil, and I really I really respect that. Like, definitely respect. Like, there are dads out there that are fighting for their kids, and
Yes.
100% I respect it. Like, I have so many friends that are single dads, and
Yeah.
um, everybody has their side of the story. Like, there's two sides of the story,
Of
right?
course.
Um, but like, I totally 100% respect all, like, the dads out there just striving,
Hmm.
working for their kids, and
Yeah,
just
yeah. I
it's
get it.
it's
Hmm.
yeah, like, it's
It
it's
is hard.
good. Yeah. um but within the both of us, we still have our fights, we have our differences, of course. Some people say, oh, we're divorced, everything's good now. It's like, that's not gonna last very
That's
long.
right.
Like,
Yeah,
like
you're
you're
divorced.
always you're always gonna have, especially if you have kids together,
Yes.
marriage or not, even though you have a separate life and they have a separate life, there's always gonna be communication, but
Yeah,
it can go good or it can go bad.
that's right.
Those are the those are the two things. But
Yeah.
but to sum up, we have our good days and we have our bad days.
Yes.
So
So for ano naman, for the kids, like, do they see their dad? I mean, wait, hold on. You have custody for the kids,
I have full custody, yes. I
and
fought for it.
then how about the dad?
He has
When the
visitation rights.
Yeah, like, you guys talk that out, right? That's
Yeah,
how it works.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Mm.
Actually, what happened was, he didn't see the kids for a while, like,
Mm-hmm.
during the part of making that decision, and they basically said to me that it makes sense that I have full custody because the kids are with me basically 90% of the year,
Mm-hmm.
um, while dad doesn't really have them very much.
I see.
So the court ruled out that I get the sole custody, full custody. They actually don't call it custody, they call it guardianship now, which is really
Really?
odd. Yes, because not many people are educated by this, and I had a really hard time explaining to my son's school, like, guardianship means custody. And, like, I was working with a lawyer that time, and the lawyer had to speak to the school and say, listen, like, this is the new court rules now. This is what they say. It's not custody, it's basically
Mm.
guardianship.
Why did they change it though? Why? Do you know?
um yeah,
The,
probably in, like, between 2012 and 2014, somewhere between there.
mm,
Yeah,
it's kind of weird that they call it that now. Confuses everybody.
it is
Hey,
confusing.
say, hey, let's fuck up with all the Canadians. Call it guardianship because Americans call it custody. We gotta be
Because
different.
we're gonna be different.
Always with the Canadians being different. All right. So, um, how are your kids, by the way?
They're good,
They're
very, very
very active in school. Are they, um, A students like yourself?
good. My eldest son, he's very smart kid, very responsible. Lawrence is 12 years old. He dances. Like, he competes in dances. Like,
Oh, cool.
yeah, he's with a studio called Dance and Stars in Burnaby. Come and take classes there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he's been dancing there for a while. Like, during our separation, my ex-husband and I, um, he's been having, like, aggression because he's the one that's seen the most of, like, the good, the bad, and the ugly,
Yes,
right?
yes, your eldest. Yeah.
So he's the one that remembers everything, and all of that resentment turned into aggression. So he was getting fights at school. Like, we
Mm.
had to move schools. Like, second day of kindergarten, like, they were like, your son got into a fight and now his face is bleeding. Like,
Wow.
yeah, it's just basically like it was just really, really, like, tough
Yeah.
for me as a single mom that time, because then I'm just venturing out to being a single mom. I'm so used to having someone there to support you, kind of
Mm-hmm.
like to talk to you about these things. But when you don't have the other parent there, it's like, what do I do? What do I need to do this and that?
Mm-hmm.
So um my my boss was like, why don't you put him in dance class? Like, it'll take his mind off things and it'll keep him off the streets when he's older and all that.
Mm.
So he started, with just little hip hop, just one class here and there. Like every Sunday, he would just dance and just have a good time, take his mind off things, until it turned into something that he loves to do now.
Mm-hmm.
And like, he does the b-boy stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so he's
Very common for Filipinos to do that. Yeah.
Yes, like he loves his breakdance. He loves to do stunts and tricks and everything. So,
Hmm.
I mean, I'm very proud of him.
It's good that he found an outlet and basically became his passion now, eh? I
Yeah,
like that. I
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, like well, my ex-husband told me that he used to dance back in the day and I used to dance back in the day. So it's kind of nice to kind of have a child kind of swing that way and you kind of um live your passion through your kids. Cuz when I got pregnant, I was 19
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to be a dancer. Like I wanted to do all these things. Like I had plans to travel and everything. But after getting pregnant, like I had to put everything at pause. And I thought, oh, maybe after I have a baby, like we can go travel together. But I realized that it's not that easy. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to kind of put that passion aside and kind of take care of my kids until I had my second one, and then I had my third one, and I'm just like, okay, I think that like I'm destined to just be a mom. So
Mm.
just chose it that way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I know it's hard. It's hard to be able to do what we want,
yeah,
especially with kids nowadays, right?
right,
I
right.
That's why I keep saying like, don't get kids, guys.
If you want your fun, don't
Get
have kids. They're amazing. They're great. But if your friends have kids, just borrow from them. Like that.
borrow is good because you can always give it back.
Mm-hmm. And make sure they're potty trained.
Yeah, that's right. That too. But if you feel like, hey, I need some training, give me the potty. Let me see
Right?
if I make a mistake.
Right. You put the diaper on backwards.
Yeah, I know. And I'll be like, hey, what is this yellow thing? It's supposed to be brown.
You look at a chart.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I think I gave your son something else.
Oh,
Um, sidetracked there. Sorry. Hey, so how about your other kids? The middle and your youngest.
so my middle child, he's um, he's definitely very special to me. Um, we've been fighting battles together. Definitely,
Mm-hmm.
he's when he was younger, they kind of told me that maybe it's gearing that he has autism,
Uh huh.
like with the behavior and all this changes. Like he just has so much emotions that he can't contain all that emotion.
Yes.
And he's socially awkward, so
Uh,
like he didn't have friends growing up. Like he had his brothers, like because he's the middle child, he feels secure. There's the oldest and there's
yes.
the youngest. If
Yeah.
he's busy, there's the other one, like
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
he just knew how to like bounce back and forth.
That's right.
And he's like the perfect middle child, that he's not independent, but he likes to do things on his own,
I see.
quietly. So, like having um having um that time during the separation, that's also a new thing for me. So, I told him
Mm.
every day that I loved him, and whatever he's feeling, he can tell mom. We're basically gonna fight battles forever. That's basically like our thing. Like I also put him in dance, um, which is great. He's not into hip hop or break dancing. He's actually into a thing called modern contemporary. So it's more of like flowy body movements, different type, very very different type of style, different music, definitely, very very creative, and it's something that he just enjoys because he's a disciplined child, but when it comes to doing his everyday routine, it has to be it has to be in a scheduled
Yes.
time. Like
Yeah.
it has to be the same thing every day.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you screw up one thing, it's gonna throw him off, and it's just the whole day is just gonna be a complete disaster.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my middle child. Like, he's great. Like, a lot of people told me, no, like, he's normal, he's great, like, he's just weird. I'm like, I'll take that anytime.
Hey,
But
you
you
know
know
what?
what?
I had the same thing when I was a young kid. I was like, he's good. He's good. He's just weird. You know.
Yeah, right? Like,
I like
we're
that.
just,
Yeah, we're all autistic sometime in our life.
or ADHD. We
Yeah,
have like an attention
ADHD.
problem.
It's all the same.
Yeah, right. And then there's my baby. My
Mm-hmm.
my oldest son is gonna kill me for this, um, but he's my baby. Isaiah, he's 9 years old,
Yeah.
and he is actually following into my oldest son's footsteps. So
Mm.
he loves to dance, loves to break dance, but he is a lot more outgoing than my oldest. Like,
Oh
this
yeah.
kid's like exhausting, but in a good way. Like, he's just like, mommy, let's go here. Mommy, let's go there. Mommy,
Oh,
look at
so
this.
much
Like,
energy, just like my youngest. Or my, you know
super.
what? Both my kids are like that. They
There'll
exhaust
come
me.
a time, but he's 9 and he's still like, let's go over here, let's go over there. Oh my god, look at this. And like, my oldest, like, can you just like be quiet for 5 minutes? Like, just give me some quiet time. He's like, but
Yeah.
I want to talk to you. And it's just the
Yeah.
funniest conversation. Like,
Yeah.
he just loves his kuya so much that he just has to, like, you need to talk to me. He's basically, what he's saying is like, love me. That's what he's saying.
That's cute. I like that one. Yeah. Love me.
Yeah, basically, like, he'll cry there, and like, he'll just like cry until he gets his kuya's valid answer.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just the
Is he
cutest
also
thing.
dancing?
Yeah, he's dancing as well. He's doing breakdance and doing some hip hop. He loves it, loves everything about competition.
Mm-hmm.
He competed for the first time last year. He won some trophies. Very, very excited about
Whoa,
it.
9 years old.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
my he saw,
wow.
because my oldest also was like winning trophies and medals and like first place and being in like the finals, and he's like, I really want to be in this. So
Wow.
he strives to do the same thing because he
Mm-hmm.
wants to feel that. Unlike my middle child, he doesn't like to be in the spotlight.
Of
Like,
course, yeah, yeah.
he just wants to be included, but he doesn't want the attention on him.
Yes.
So we kind of just leave him alone. And then when he's ready to talk to us, then, we include him. And then, like, because I just don't want to stress him out either, because doing
Yes.
that kind of stresses the kids and it throws them off. And yeah.
All right, that's a good story. I like it. I like it so much. But your life is really actually very exhausting, like with dancing and all. So who is supporting you or helping you with all those stuff? I mean, you're by
So,
yourself, but 3 kids who do you get to drop them off, pick them up, and at the same time go to work.
yes, like, my life is quite exhausting since like we've had the separation. Like, I used to be a stay-at-home mom. But
Mm,
after the separation, I was not getting any income. Like,
yes,
how
yes,
am I gonna feed the kids? How am I gonna pay for the car, the rents, like, things like that. And there's so many people supporting in my life. Like, they're so supportive, and I'm so thankful for them. I'm gonna leave the most important people later,
uh-huh.
but definitely, like, my boss from my dance studio, like, she's amazing. She has the biggest heart, and she definitely helped me all these years to get where I am today.
That's great.
um yeah, um she's the owner of Dance and Stars in
Mm-hmm.
Burnaby, and she's been running this business for 20 years, and like, the most hardworking woman I have ever like met in my life. And I think that's how, like, it inspired me to work hard. Like, I had to beg her for a job there. Like,
Really?
I was like, yeah, because, like, because I used to do the event planning, right?
Yes, yes.
So I did like some decorations because there was a birthday party happening there, And I came into the office and I said to her, I'm like, hey, are you guys hiring? She's like, no, no, we're not hiring. Like, because we usually end it, like, sorry, we start the season in September. So she
Mm.
does her hiring during the summertime. And this was like
Yes.
in October. And I was like, oh, I
Oh.
really need a job. Like, I don't know where to start. Like, I was thinking of doing cleaning or like working retail, but I'm like,
Yes.
I don't have that flexibility because the kids are still small,
Mm.
right?
Especially
And
when they're
then
small, yeah.
yeah. And then so she's like, "Okay, you know what? Come next week. I'll see if I can find a job for you." And I was like, "Great." Going there, I didn't even know what I was doing. So like I came in and she was like, "Oh, do you want to clean the storage room?" I'm like, "Yeah, for sure." Like I took on all of these jobs until um finally I didn't even know. Like she was just basically training me to
Yeah.
run her studio for her.
Oh,
So now
wow.
actually it's my 10th year this year at this
Yes.
dance studio.
That's
And
cool.
um she's like, yeah, it's just it's been a really good, like I had a good relationship with her and her family. Like they're like my second family. Her parents are my mom and dad. I just everything that they do for me and my kids, like I definitely, like I am so happy and grateful for them.
Yeah.
So she's definitely one of the people that helped me out.
Mm-hmm.
um Number two, I have my ex-husband's family.
Oh, they
um
still help too. That's good.
yeah, they're in our lives. Of course, like in the beginning of the years, it's all bitterness because we were like,
Yes.
we were separated and stuff like that. But we do our best to kind of like, if my ex-husband wanted to see the kids and the grandma and grandpa want to see the kids, I'm like, here, go, like that's fine. Like birthday parties every other weekend, like they go
Mm-hmm.
see their grandparents. Cool, like that's great. But in the recent years, they've been a little bit more helpful with me. So they've been like, if I'm going to dance class or I'm going here, but one kid has swimming, she'll be able to help me.
Oh, that's
So,
great. They're actually
so it's
very
nice.
supportive. Because I've heard a few, and they're like they don't even want to be with the grandkids just
Yes.
because of the mom. And I'm like, come on, people, like these are your kids still, right? Still your blood, and whether they got divorced or not, the support that the kids need should still be given to them from their grandparents and all,
From their
and
grandparents, yes.
basically the entire family, whatever that family is, right?
Yeah. And that's the sad
That's
thing
good.
because a lot of people don't know that they can work things out and make
Yeah,
amends and just put
that's
everything
right.
aside for the kids,
That's
right?
right. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, like my ex-husband's family has been there for me whenever I need them. Of course they have their own lives as well.
Mm-hmm.
But they do their best and check in, and you know whenever we can. But of course during the pandemic, all they've been doing is like Zoom calls, and like
Mm.
we would be outside in their yard and like waving, exchanging gifts and stuff, like, but that's the only thing that they can do, and air hugs. But that's about that's about it, like with
That's cute
their
though. At
family.
least, yeah. At least you got that, and also
Yeah.
basically your family, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly, exactly. Like, um, her like their family's always been super, like, um respectful after,
Yes.
like after everything. They've been respecting my wishes and like how I want to raise the kids and everything. So like it's they've been great. They've been very great to me.
That's good.
um and then my dad has recently like come into my life. It's been
Yes.
about almost 3 years now. And we've been having a constant relationship. I try to check in on him here and there. um he's in, of course, London, UK.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been very tough there. um
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
Yeah,
Is
and
he
he's
safe? Like,
he's safe. He's
he's
safe,
safe. That's
definitely.
good.
He had to quarantine a couple of times. Like he was exposed a couple of times to people that
Oh,
have
wow.
COVID. But knock on wood, like my dad's like bionic. Like
Yeah,
he's like
that's good.
he's He's good. My dad helps me financially. Like definitely he's been stepping up because there are some things that my ex-husband has some short endings.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad kind of want to step up so the kids have like, a good life
Mm-hmm.
basically cuz like
That's right.
he didn't raise me, but after we got reunited,
Yes.
he he heard about how I was when I was a kid and how my mom and I had no money. Like my mom would watch me eat. Like she would have a bite of the hot dog and she'll just give it to me
Mm.
because we just didn't have enough money,
Yes.
right? And things like that. And he would be like, "Oh my God, like I've never known that your life was like that." And I'm like, you know what? As a kid, I didn't really think about it, but now as an
Adult.
adult, like it makes me appreciate my mom
Good.
definitely, definitely a lot. Like I tell my mom, like I'm like, you're crazy, but I love her. Like I love her craziness. Like without her craziness, like I don't think I'll be like this. Like I told my dad the same thing that I tell everybody, that
Yeah.
I feel like there's a reason why my dad wasn't there,
Yeah.
because if my dad was there my whole life, I don't think I'd be as humble as I am and
Mm.
patient. I think I'd be more bratty. I think I'd
Mm-hmm.
be, not appreciating life. I don't think I'll ever have my kids because then I'd be like, oh, it's my dad. Like, I'll just go to my
Mm.
dad. Like teenager, like you fight with your mom. Well, I'm going to dad's house. Like,
Yeah.
but during that time, I had nobody to run to but my mom. And everybody told me, like, you and your mom have each other, never leave your mom. So that kind of instilled in my head.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, like so like I'm very thankful for my dad. Like he's there when I need to talk to him. Like he helps me financially. If things sprung up on me, he'll find a way to like, help me out. So he's he's definitely stepped up
That's
and
good.
I really appreciate him for that. And then my mom,
Mm-hmm.
definitely my mom helps me out with the kids. She lives with me and she'll
Oh,
always live
okay.
with me.
That's cool. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna ask, like, you guys are living on your own, but I guess now you're with your mom, right? So
Yes, I live with my mom, but we rarely see each other. So we take turns kind of like watching the kids. If she's home, then I go, of course I'm at work, she'll be at home. And then by the time I come home, it's time for her to go to work. So
mm-hmm.
it's like we rarely see each other, or like if I'm gonna be staying at my work late, she'll be dropping the kids off at my work, and like this is where my boss comes in again. Like she
Yeah.
allows me to have my kids there, so it's
Hey, you should let your
great,
let your boss watch this so
right?
that you can get a raise. Hey, just so you know, I did an interview, and you were the highlight of the story.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I hopefully she'll watch it. Hopefully she'll watch it. I'm
Yeah, she'll
hoping.
see it.
Um,
That's
but
good. You
yeah,
know what?
like
So much support. You know what? I think in many ways, I think that's what I like with the Filipino community. That even though with all this negative stuff, our family comes first,
yes,
right?
definitely.
So and we always try to help each other, even though even though some people wouldn't see you as family, but because they feel like your family, you're
Yeah,
basically it, right?
yes. You don't have to be blood related to be
That's right.
family. Definitely, I've been proven that in the past couple of years. But yeah, like my mom's been there for me since like God knows, like she's my holy grail. Like she's taught me how to be strong. She
Yeah.
taught me how to make it look easy. Like my mom definitely made everything look easy as a single mom. Like
Oh,
like I rarely see her when I was younger because she was working like
oh
four or
yes.
five jobs. Like when we moved here to Canada, she was like working at Wendy's, she was working at a laundromat, she was working at Superstore, she was working at
Wow.
Panago. Like she took on
Yeah.
any job that she can to give me. like a better
What they
life.
that's right, yeah.
Yeah, so I really admire that about my mom. Like she's 60, almost 63 years old, and
She's
like
about to
she's
retire.
still working. She's still
Yeah.
working two jobs. So I'm like, salute you, mom. Like,
Yeah, Filipinos are hardworking, man. Like we got like heavy, hard backbones.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Like my mom's like, I'm like, you're getting like older now. You need to like not like she does more of like a harder job than I do in an everyday basis. So like I can't be making like burgers like all the time and running around. Like I sit on the computer all day and like do emails. Like it's mentally exhausting. Like
Yeah.
that's like my job, but hers is like physically and mentally exhausting. So
Wow.
definitely like she's amazing.
I gotta say, respect to all the moms out there and to our listeners, and especially
Yes.
you, Laura, and your mom.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
it's really
So
hard, but you guys are doing.
yes, it's really good. But my most biggest and best people in my life are my grandparents. So my
Mm,
grandparents raised me. My
yes.
grandparents raised my kids.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's
Be
cool.
yeah, before my grandma passed away in 2018, she raised my oldest. Like she just loved him with all her heart, even before he was out. She was with me at doctor appointments. She
Oh
would pay the taxi just so I wouldn't take the bus. Like she covered up for me because my mom didn't know I was pregnant. Like my grandma's the best. Like she's she's amazing. So
yeah,
that's a different
grandmas.
story,
Maybe we should do that next time too. I like that
right?
one. Mhm.
Um, and
Grandparents.
right, grandparents.
Yeah.
And then my grandpa helped her by like cleaning up after my kids and stuff. So before, when I started working, my grandma would be like, "Oh, just leave your kids here. You know, that's their great grandkids."
Mm-hmm.
So they enjoyed that a lot. Like
Mm-hmm.
they enjoyed, like, where can you see your great grandchild like grow up in front of you? You know, like like it's very rare now,
Yeah.
very very rare nowadays. So um, definitely that was they were really 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 helpful for me and a lot of support. But unfortunately now, like my grandpa's 96 years old and he's in a nursing home.
Mm-hmm.
We can't of course visit because of COVID. um,
Mm-hmm.
but like my grandma passed away in 2018, and that was really hard for my oldest.
Yes.
Like until like they were like the best of friends. My
Uh,
oldest and my grandma, they were inseparable. Everything that he ever like wanted, everything like not by material things, but like from love, attention, food, like basically like mama was there. He called her like mama. So like mama was always there, and he just loved that relationship, and he tells me till this day he will always cherish
mm-hmm.
that relationship that he had with his great grandma. So
You know, it's great that you have so much support, man. Like it's good.
yeah, there's a lot of support, and there are people that don't have that support,
That's
which
right.
is
I was gonna
it's
say, yeah.
really it's really difficult. So
Mm-hmm.
like if my friends need support, like I usually try to be there. Like it's so busy for me, but so many people have helped me that I feel like I would love to help them
Share.
as well.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, share the blessings, share
Mm.
like the knowledge, everything. So I try that with, I
By
try to give
borrowing,
it to my borrow.
let me borrow your kids
Yes.
so you can
Yeah,
have your own time.
I always borrow my boss's daughter. She's because I don't have a daughter, and she's like 3 years old, and I just love hanging out with
Oh,
her.
yeah.
I
Three,
love
three.
taking
I
her to
think
the
three is
mall.
the best when it comes to like being the cutest and stuff.
Yeah, but not when they go, no! Like,
Yeah, no, but I like you.
yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, so I just borrow my boss's kids. Like I'm
Good.
just like, can I borrow? Like I want to take her to the mall. Like I can take her to like the zoo. Like me and my kids are going. Like does she want to go swimming? Like let's go. Like be like that. So
That's good.
I
You know what,
borrow. I
too? It's good that you have a good relationship with your boss because already hard enough to like be able to go to work and then do stuff for your kids, and that you have a great relationship with your boss, and that
don't get me wrong. I'm scared of her. Like I'm
it's a
scared of my
boss.
boss. But she has been like super great with me, and it's like I'm just so thankful. Like I found her, and she says, "I'm so thankful I found you," and I'm like, "Oh, we're both thankful." So
That's great.
yeah.
Work both ways. All right. So, um, knowing what you know now, what would you tell your younger self if you ever get to see her?
Don't get married. Wag
All
kang
right.
malandi. Like,
Oh, you know, I hear that from the older generation, and that's so funny. Yeah.
no, no, no. I should take that back because if I didn't do what I did, I wouldn't have my kids right now. And I can't I can't live without them.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I think I would have told myself back in the day, like
Mm-hmm.
be more patient, be more understanding. Like I wasn't the perfect wife either, but kind
Mm-hmm.
of like you just have to basically take one step at a time. Like I'm very kind of like you said, like it's go go go, bam this, bam that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like like I just need to basically always step back and think about like is this gonna work? Like is this like growing up, I guess, with Filipino like strict parents and grandparents and a strict family, like a conservative family, they're always constantly telling you like these are the rules, you need to follow
Uh.
the rules and this and that, and that kind of instilled in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And you know I just felt like that's what made me kind of rebel more.
I see.
Like it made me rebel a little bit more. So like if there
Too
was
many
something,
rules.
yeah,
I
like
I find that when there's so many rules, the more you want to break them.
because it's fun, it's
Yeah.
fun breaking the rules.
I think I'm gonna tell my kids something else so that they would break something else, and then they'll be like, "Oh, I learned something from that." Yeah, that's right. It's a reverse
Well, you know
psychology.
what, maybe this will help you because this is what I tell my kids now.
Mm,
Me and my mom actually had this happen a couple of weeks ago, and she was like, "No, these are the rules. You need to follow it." And I said, "No, no, 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 no. Like that's not what we're gonna say to the kids, because rules are meant to be broken.
broken.
Like those are like promises are meant to be broken as well, right? It's just it is what it is." But as I was kind of disciplining my kids, I always told them, "You have to do the right thing." So
Mm,
we can't, because sometimes you have to do something wrong to make it right.
yeah.
So you have to make the right decision instead of saying, these are the rules, you need to follow them.
Yeah.
Like, of course, there are rules like respect, love, never lie, um, have that, um, have that kind of consistency in your life.
Yes.
But when you tell the kids like make sure you do the right thing, um, think about um, think think one step ahead. And that's what I would tell myself as well, because kids nowadays are so different. Like they're so different.
Yeah.
Very different from us, from the things that they watch, the things that
Yeah.
they eat. It's very different. So
Yeah.
um, thinking for us one step ahead, we have to adapt to it and
Yes.
learn to kind of mold it into our generation, because that's
Mm-hmm.
what happened with the Filipino generations that came like 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
The years that they left the Philippines, that's the year they're still living today.
Tell me about
It's
it.
it's true. It's so true.
I
Like
know.
like we are in a different generation now, and like
Yeah.
the Philippines is so different now.
It's like
Very,
they,
very
they left
different.
in the 70s and their mindset is still the 70s. And I'm
Still the
like,
70s.
it's 2021. did you guys forget to grow up at the same time? But I guess that's how it is when you have kids. I think for the most part, I also find that for myself that I'm kind of like stuck in the 2000s.
Oh, really? The party life?
Yeah, I was like, I want to move on, but I'm kind of like, because I think that's when we were that's the height of our life,
Yeah, definitely. That
the
was the
best
hype.
time of our life, right?
Yes.
In many ways. So I guess that's why we keep reliving it, and that's why we keep clinging to it, even
Yeah.
though I know, stuff that needs to be like, hey man, like even my brother is like, bro, your music is like in the early 2000s. I'm rocking it in my van, man. Shut up. But
Right? But
right.
you can't be
So
rocking it in your van with your kids now.
yeah, I know. They're like,
They-
but my kids
they'll
like,
be looking at you like, what are you
what are you
doing? Like,
listening
you're
on?
so not cool right now.
I know, but it is what it is. I find like, I guess it's just because of that. But yeah. Hey, talk about trying to taste all the rainbow. Are you seeing someone right now?
Yeah, there is someone special. I think they are more gearing to a private life. Um, he also has a kid. He has a
Mm,
son.
yes.
So like, um, it's something that we can kind of connect to how it's like how our life is like.
Yeah.
But um, definitely, yeah, there is someone special, but we're gonna keep that kind of like private. Like, I've been super open about like my past relationships, and I've kind of
Yeah.
learned kind of not to flaunt it now,
Yeah.
because you never know
What could
what's gonna
happen?
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I told my mom, I'm like, you're just gonna know I'm getting married. I'm done. I'm done you meeting people. Like, you're just gonna know like I'm getting married. And she's like, we're Filipinos. You never do that. And
I
it's
did
just
it twice. I think you should get used to it by now, mom.
bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, I know. Bam, bam, bam.
Oh God,
That's
that's
pretty
too
funny.
hilarious.
All right. So, lastly, what would you like to say to your kids when they grow up? What's the biggest life lesson that you would like to impart to your kids?
Oh, this is a tough one because I tell them things different, like different things every day.
I think
Number
for
one,
now, like for
oh,
now, I think whatever comes out with you.
well, I want them to be, of course, 100% better than I am. Like,
Hmm.
I want them to not be in the same boat as their mother. Like,
Yeah.
I want them to always work hard. I want them to just be themselves. Like, I want them to um, embrace the Filipino culture, but also embrace that they are born here. So, kind of
Yeah.
have a good balance
That's right.
of what they, like the respect, the discipline, the beliefs. Um, it's very, if they're probably going to get confused at one point, but
Hmm.
hoping that they would just carry it on gracefully, like just live it, live it by the day.
Yeah. All right. Well, kids, if you're watching this whenever in the future, listen to your mom. Moms knows best. Doesn't matter what you think. They know because we have no idea what we're doing. All
No,
right.
dads are good too. Dads are good too.
Right? Because in truth,
You guys are the fun ones.
sorry?
You guys are fun. Like, you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
are fun. Like, I wish I could bring somebody to have fun with them and
Hmm.
kind of be there constantly. That's one of the hardest things about dating as a single mom, where
Hmm.
it's just you don't know when to bring them into your child's life, because I've done that.
Yeah.
And when you do not work out,
It kind of like crushes them too.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah. I know. It's hard already being a mom and then be able to date someone that would go with your kids,
That's right.
right? So
That's
yeah,
right.
it's all hard, but life keeps moving on, and you guys stay tough, right? So that's why I always say moms are the best out there.
Single moms and moms just work hard in general,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah,
So
being a mom doesn't turn off. It's 24-hour job,
it is a
365 days a
24-hour
week.
job.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. So that's it for today. I hope for our listeners, you guys like the topic. You guys learned something from it. In the next episode, we'll be discussing about the Filipinos in Hollywood. That will be with my recurring co-host J to the C. So don't forget to subscribe wherever you guys get your podcasts. And before we go, I would like to say thank you, Laura, for being our
Thank
guest here
you.
today. It's
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah, it's great to have your opinion on this topic. So, for our listeners, where can they follow you?
They can follow me on Instagram. It's Miss Laura Gatro. My name is spelled Gautreaux. Me and Eric have been finding ways to say it like how we're gonna say it, but we ended
Okay,
up
so yeah, so so the Canadian way, how do you say it in Canadian?
oh, we're not gonna do this.
It's so good. Okay, Canadian first. Get
So it's
how
like
say it?
Gatro.
Gatro. And in French,
Uh,
French.
I'm not gonna do it in my dad's voice that I did earlier, but it's Gutrox. Gutrox? Gutrox? I'm totally butchering my own last name.
I like
And
it when
I'm
you say it with your dad's accent. Come on, say it.
no no
Good trucks. It's so sexy. I'm French. You're not.
oui oui.
Oui, oui. See.
That's in Spanish.
And all the same. They're all Latin. All right. Thank you for listening, guys. And don't forget to check us on our website, Facebook, Instagram, and our YouTube channel for more content. All right. Before I go, Laura, favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Is this like fast talk with like
Yeah,
Tito
fast talk.
Boy? Oh no. Um, Burlesque.
What the burlesque?
Yeah,
All
you haven't
right.
seen that movie?
No, you know. hmm.
Has dancing in it.
Yes, I know. I like it. All right, you guys are great for listening, and thank you very much. That's it, Pansit, and paalam.